Does English feel far away from your real life? Maybe you study English. Maybe you watch videos. Maybe you know many words. But after the video ends, your room is quiet again. Your phone is in your hand. Your family speaks your language. Your work is busy, and English feels far away.
Honestly, yes. I can understand English when I sit down and study, but in my real day, I do not know where to put it. In the morning, I drink coffee. I check messages. I go to work. At night, I am tired. I tell myself I should practice English, but then I do nothing.
That feeling is very common. And today, we are not going to say, just study harder. Today, we will practice one simple idea. You do not need to move to English. You can invite English into the life you already have.
Invite English into my life. That sounds softer than forcing myself to study.
Right. And that is our practice sentence today. I can invite English into my life. You are listening to English Unbound. I am Bevin.
And I am Anna.
This is a slow English podcast for adult learners who want English to feel closer, calmer, and more useful.
Today is for people like me. I do not live in an English-speaking country. I understand some English, but I still feel shy, busy, and sometimes a little lost.
If that is you, stay with us. We will move slowly. We will talk about daily life, shadowing, thinking in English, reading aloud, and using English in small, ordinary moments.
And only one main practice round, right?
Yes, one strong practice round. We are not going to fill your ears with too many drills. We will make one sentence feel real.
Okay, I like that. One sentence I can carry.
Now, let us start with the real problem. Many learners think English feels far away because they do not live abroad.
I think that too. If I lived in London or New York or maybe Sydney, English would be everywhere.
It would be around you, yes. But mind you, even people who live abroad can still hide inside their first language.
Oh, right. They can still use their own phone, their own friends, their own habits.
Yes. So distance is not only geography, distance is also attention.
Attention?
Yes. What do you notice every day? What do you repeat every day? What has a place in your normal life? If English has no place, no time, and no feeling, your brain treats it like a visitor.
Like someone who comes to my house once a week, sits for 10 minutes, and leaves.
That is a good picture. But if English appears when you make coffee, when you walk, when you open your diary, when you send a voice message, then English becomes familiar.
So I do not need a perfect English environment. I need small English moments.
Right. Small doors.
Small doors?
Yes. A door is not a whole house. It is just an entrance. Your morning coffee can be a door. Your walk can be a door. Your phone can be a door. Your kitchen can be a door. When you attach English to something you already do, the habit becomes lighter.
Actually, that makes sense. When I try to create a new study plan, it feels heavy. But when I add one sentence to something I already do, it feels possible.
That is the method. There is a simple learning reason behind this. Your brain does not only remember words, it remembers places, feelings, actions, and timing.
So my brain remembers English better when English has a real place in my day?
Yes, a word in a notebook is useful, but a word connected to your coffee, your walk, your phone, or your evening light becomes easier to find again.
because it is not floating alone.
Right, it has a hook. When you hear English while making coffee, the coffee becomes a little hook. When you say one sentence on your walk, the walk becomes a little hook. Later, your brain can say, "Ah, I know this path. I have been here before."
That feels different from forcing myself to study for 1 big hour.
Right, and let me say this gently. Willpower is not a bad thing, but willpower gets tired. Your daily system should not depend only on your strongest mood.
Because some days I am not strong.
Me too. Many people are motivated on Sunday night. They make a beautiful plan. 1 hour every morning. New notebook, new app, new promise.
And then Monday morning says no.
Monday morning can be very honest. So instead of a plan that only works when life is perfect, build a plan that still works when life is normal.
Normal means busy, a little tired, maybe messy.
Yes, real life. Do not ask, where can I find 2 perfect hours? Ask, where can I place one small English moment?
Let me think. Morning coffee, walking to the bus, washing dishes, before I sleep.
Beautiful. Those are not empty moments. They are real life. Now we practice the sentence. Listen first. I can invite English into my life.
I can invite English into my life.
Good. Now we slow it down. I can.
I can.
Invite English
Invite English
into my life.
into my life.
Now the full sentence. I can invite English into my life.
I can invite English into my life.
Now you, the listener. Say it slowly with Anna.
I can invite English into my life.
Again, softer.
I can invite English into my life.
Now make it real. Imagine your coffee tomorrow morning. The cup is warm. Your day is starting. Say it there.
I can invite English into my life.
That is the practice round.
Hmm. It feels simple, but not empty.
Yes. A good sentence is not always difficult. A good sentence gives your brain a path.
So, what are the small doors? I need examples because if I only hear the idea, I may forget it.
Of course. Let us open 5 doors. Door 1. Listen to English every day.
This sounds easy, but I sometimes turn it into pressure. I think I must understand everything.
You do not need to understand everything. Listening every day is partly about contact. It tells your ears, this sound belongs in my life.
Ah, so listening is not a test every time.
No. Sometimes listening is just letting English sit near you. You can listen while you make coffee. You can listen during a walk. You can listen when you clean your room.
But if I do not understand some words, should I stop?
Not always. If the episode is too hard, choose something easier. But if you understand the feeling, keep going. Your ears need friendly contact.
Friendly contact. I like that.
Door 2. Shadow what you hear.
Shadowing means I listen and copy the sound, right?
Yes, but not only the speed. I mean, copy the shape of the sentence. Copy the feeling. Copy the little music of the words.
So if you say, I can invite English into my life, I do not just repeat the words, I try to feel the calm rhythm.
Yes, that is why slow shadowing is powerful. It gives your mouth a safe pattern before real conversation asks you to move quickly.
Oh, that explains why I can understand a sentence, but still cannot say it naturally.
Understanding is one skill. Producing the sound is another skill. Shadowing is the bridge.
The bridge between my ears and my mouth.
Right. And today you only need one small bridge. Door 3. Think in English.
This one scares me a little. My thoughts are fast in Chinese. In English, they become very small.
Small is fine. Do not try to think your whole life in English. Think one tiny thought. I am tired. This coffee is good. I need a break. It is raining. I can try again.
That feels possible.
Thinking in English is not a performance. No one is judging your grammar inside your own mind.
My mind judges me sometimes.
Mine too, sometimes. But honestly, your first English thoughts can be very simple. Simple thoughts build a quiet road.
How should I put it? Maybe I have been trying to build a highway, but I only need a small road first.
That is it. Door 4. Read aloud.
I used to read silently. It felt safe.
Silent reading is useful, but if your goal is speaking, your mouth needs practice too. Reading aloud gives your mouth a low pressure rehearsal.
What should I read?
One paragraph from a podcast transcript, one message, one sentence from your diary, even one line. Read it slowly. Notice where your mouth feels stuck. Then read it again, a little softer.
So I do not need to read a whole page.
No, a quiet room, one line, your real voice. That is enough.
That feels gentle.
Door 5. Use English in daily life.
This is the hard one because I do not always have someone to speak with.
Then start with low-risk use. Change one phone note into English. Record a 10-second voice message to yourself. Write one sentence in your diary. Name what you are doing in the kitchen.
Like, I am cutting vegetables. I am making tea. I am looking for my keys.
Yes, ordinary English for ordinary life.
But it feels silly speaking to myself.
It can feel silly. That is okay. Many good learning habits feel a little strange before they feel normal.
Actually, that helps. Strange does not mean wrong.
No, strange often means new.
Can we make a real day? Like, not a perfect study day, just a normal day?
Yes, let us make Anna's normal day.
Okay, I wake up, I feel sleepy. I touch my phone before I even think.
That is door 1, your phone. You do not need to open 10 apps. You can see one note on your lock screen. I can invite English into my life.
Then I make coffee.
Door 2, coffee. You press play on 1 minute of slow English. You do not check every word, you just let your ears meet English.
Then I walk to work or to the bus.
Door 3, walking. You shadow one sentence. Quietly if you are outside, or just move your lips. The point is contact between your ears and your mouth.
At lunch, I am busy. I may not practice.
That is okay. A good plan has empty space. You can simply save one useful phrase if you see it, no guilt if you do not.
Then at night, I am tired.
Door 4. Tired evening. This is where many learners quit because the plan is too big. So your evening task should be very small. read one line out loud, or record one 10-second voice note.
10 seconds sounds almost too small.
That is why it can survive. Tiny practice is not childish. Tiny practice is a way to keep the relationship alive.
Like sending one short message to English, I am still here.
Yes, and English answers slowly over time.
Honestly, that makes me feel less ashamed. I always thought if I did not study for a long time, it did not count.
It counts when it keeps you connected. Of course, longer practice is useful, but small contact protects the habit on difficult days.
So the goal is not big every day, the goal is close every day.
Beautiful. Close every day. Now, let us make these 5 doors very practical. Tomorrow morning, when you touch your phone, you can ask, "What is one English sentence I can see today?"
Maybe I write on my lock screen. I can invite English into my life.
Good. When you make coffee, you can listen to 1 minute of slow English.
Only 1 minute?
1 minute is allowed. Starting small is not failure.
Starting small is not failure.
When you walk, you can shadow one sentence.
I can invite English into my life.
When you are tired at night, you can read one line aloud.
Not a full lesson, one line.
Yes. And before sleep, you can think one gentle English thought.
I tried today.
That is a beautiful one.
It feels like English can be part of the day, not another heavy task on top of the day.
That is the heart of this episode. You are not adding a second life. You are adding small English lights inside the life you already have.
Small English lights. I can see that.
Now, what if you miss a day?
I know this feeling. I miss one day, then I feel guilty, then I miss 3 more days.
That is a very human pattern. But here is a kinder rule. Never restart with punishment.
Never restart with punishment.
Yes, if you miss yesterday, do not say, "I failed. Now I must study 2 hours." Say, "Anyway, today I open one small door."
One small door, not a big punishment door.
No punishment door. When learners punish themselves, English starts to feel dangerous. When learners return gently, English starts to feel safe.
Safe English. That is important.
Very important. Because speaking needs safety. If your body feels danger every time you open your mouth will protect you by closing.
Oh, so emotional safety is not just a nice feeling. It affects speaking.
Yes, cam practice helps your voice come out. That is why English Unbound is slow. Slow does not mean weak. Slow means we give your brain and your voice enough room to meet each other.
Enough room.
Now let us talk about online English.
Online groups, short videos, comments.
Yes, they can help, but only if you use them with a small purpose. If you scroll for 1 hour and feel bad, that is not practice.
That is just my thumb practicing.
A very strong thumb. Instead, choose one small action. Leave one short English comment. Save one useful phrase. Repeat one sentence from a short video. Send one simple voice message to a study partner.
I think I can leave a short comment. Maybe this helped me today.
That is enough. You used English to connect.
But what if people see my mistake?
Mind you, most people are not watching as closely as your fear says.
Mm. My fear is very confident.
Fear often sounds confident, but it is not always wise. If you make a small mistake, you can learn from it and keep your dignity.
So the goal is not to never feel shy. The goal is to move gently with the shyness.
Yes, that is a mature learning goal. Now, here are 5 sentences to carry with you. Sentence 1. I can invite English into my life.
I can invite English into my life.
Sentence 2. I can listen while I make coffee.
I can listen while I make coffee.
Sentence 3. I can say one sentence on my walk.
I can say one sentence on my walk.
Sentence 4. I can read one line out loud.
I can read one line out loud.
Sentence 5. I can bring English closer today.
I can bring English closer today.
Now, let us put them into a small real-life plan. Tomorrow, choose one normal moment. Not 5 moments. Not a perfect schedule. One normal moment.
My morning coffee.
Good. Attach one English action to it.
I will listen to 1 minute of slow English. Then I will say one sentence. I can invite English into my life.
That is clear. That is repeatable. That is kind.
Kind. I like that word.
Learning should have discipline, yes, but it also needs kindness. If your plan needs a perfect mood, it will break on a tired day.
Oh, right. My tired days are real days too.
They are. So make a plan that can survive a tired day.
1 minute can survive a tired day.
Yes. And once you start, sometimes 1 minute becomes 3 minutes. Sometimes it becomes 10. But even if it stays 1 minute, you still kept contact.
That makes me feel less guilty.
Good. Guilt is a heavy teacher. We are looking for a lighter teacher, rhythm,
Rhythm.
something you return to again and again, not perfectly, just often enough.
So English becomes familiar because I meet it in my own life.
Yes. And familiar things feel less frightening.
Actually, that is true. The first time I hear a phrase, it feels strange. After I hear it many times, it feels like an old friend.
That is why small daily contact matters. It changes English from a subject into a relationship.
A relationship with English.
Yes. And like any relationship, it grows through contact, attention, patience, and small, honest moments.
Not pressure only.
Not pressure only. So today, before we say goodbye, let us return to the main sentence one last time. I can invite English into my life.
I can invite English into my life.
Say it tomorrow when you touch your coffee cup.
Say it when you put on your headphones.
Say it when you open your notes app.
Say it when you feel English is far away.
Because English does not have to stay far away.
You can bring it closer. One small door at a time.
If this episode helped you, write one word in the comments. Closer.
Closer.
And for your small practice today, choose one ordinary moment and attach one English sentence to it.
Morning coffee. A walk. A phone note. A voice message. Anything small.
You are not behind. You are building a rhythm.
And a rhythm can become a life.
This was English Unbound. I am Bevin.
And I am Anna.
Keep going gently. We will see you in the next slow English practice.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.